Hey, should I get me a beer? Hey.
If you want to drink beer.
Get me a beer. Can I tell you?
Hey, baby face.
Yeah, I was going to, but then I forgot to. You want a beer?
No, I've got one. Thank you, buddy.
Sure. I got Presidentes.
Wow, stuff there.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially the Mexican brandy is El Presidente.
No, it's Dominican, actually.
But he said brandy, he wasn't talking about.
Oh.
What a wonderful treat to have you guys here. So I'm feeling,
Chicken wings?
yeah,
I love
I'll
it.
share my fly lights with you.
Those chicken wings are so good.
Have you seen that show, Billy?
I've watched it a few times.
The doctor?
Yeah, I don't think it's all that accurate.
Yeah.
Well, the guy plays it well.
It's an interesting idea, you know, it's an interesting issue. You know what's interesting, I think about is, look at Beth's brother Bobby, and look at my best friend John Logan. Neither one of them got in the first time around, and maybe even the second time around to med school.
Yeah, I think Bobby was good.
And Bobby ended up graduating cum laude.
Wow.
And my friend John Logan is
know he was that smart.
63, and he's still, you know, a superb surgeon. You know, in great demand. He's had a wonderful career. I kind of gotta wonder, are they, you know, they're setting the bar too high? You know what?
Yeah, that's why these, most
Well,
of
they said
them.
that many white males
Well,
have
I guess it's really just there's not enough slots. Is the bottom line. And yet, we always talk about what a shortage of doctors. So why the hell aren't there more
I
slots?
don't know. That's true.
You
I
should
saw
have heard
something.
Rosie today. Talk about some of the nurses that CPCC is releasing out there.
No, not these. No.
Are they like Charlotte Mecklenburg teachers?
Yeah.
No. Charlotte Mecklenburg teachers are very good.
They don't get paid.
They don't get paid enough, and they don't get paid enough to put up with the bullshit, the behavior, and the principles.
How is it?
Wonderful.
Can you share
And the demands.
some hot mustard with me?
Mm-hmm.
Not a shortage of teachers. There's wonderful teachers that
So
are
you're
leaving the
definitely
industry.
going to go into teaching, huh?
I'm looking into it.
Really?
So, what are your plans?
Well,
A, B, or C?
I'm talking to the principal right now, and he's trying
Good.
to figure out if he has a slot for me, and I you know, that's kind of all I am at that point.
Well, that's a
But,
good
but a
point.
year and a half ago, I went through this fairly far along, and my understanding was I was qualified to be, you know, an emergency teacher for business. I have an MBA.
Mm-hmm.
So I could just teach business. I'm like, you got a business in Charlotte, at South Mountain? Yeah. Well, now I hear they have marketing, let alone business, which I think is kind of pushing it.
No, those are all your AP classes.
They behave.
Yeah.
You know what? That's another thing.
You have to teach AP or you're going to get...
Yeah.
You should have heard this thing about the nurses.
Wasn't good?
No, he wasn't good at all. Listen, she got in trouble. She told one of them, listen,
if you screw up, you will kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So her dean got on her face. You can't talk to them that way.
No, it has to be
Mustard and
positive.
sweet sauce, please.
Or sweet sauce.
They had to take some students before the board. And they didn't turn in assignments. They didn't turn in this one
What
thing.
school?
Central Piedmont. Okay? Yeah, so they didn't turn in this, didn't turn in that, and then they couldn't go on to the next part, and if you don't do the next part, you can't pass the course. And one of them said that, well, why didn't the teacher tell me that, I didn't send it to the right place, to, you know, online? And Rosie spoke up and said, let me tell you something. If you don't send the information to the correct place online at a hospital, you're gonna kill somebody. So
Yep.
you need to know where to send it and how to do it correctly. And the dean got on Rosie's case because that wasn't using positive. You have to use positive reinforcement and positive language.
Yeah.
I never, I lost my train of thought, never mind.
Here's some fly lights for
I
you,
never
Jeff.
remember our college professors being so, politically correct. They were mean all the
They
time.
would have said,
20 years
you
ago.
burn it in, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Adios.
And then dope. You're learning how to be, a nurse. And yeah, she's right. You can kill somebody.
So,
So, can you pass me some, soy sauce, please? Joe, those wings
Would you
are
like
good,
sweet?
man.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, thank you for coming. I just, when Beth comes, it's not for me. Go in there and talking about it, But that's all right.
Solve the world's problems.
Do
at least our own.
you? But this is great. I still reminisce on that trip, Bill.
And it's a good one.
God
I can't
almighty.
believe it was only 2 months ago. It came by so fast.
That fish. I mean, I didn't get weight on it during the trip.
I looked up, like Google Maps, Paris to Le Havre. That was a tiny trip. I mean, we didn't go hardly but like 100 miles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's nothing.
The river cruisers are like that.
Was halfway there. So I'm kind of looking at that going, I wonder, if that whole stuff about the lock and everything is kind of a little bit of BS, because the Vienna trip, I think they do somewhat lie to you. That you have to change ships because, the river's down. To me, it doesn't look like there is a river. The river ends. And they just switch you to an industrial canal.
And that's why they
Fine,
don't.
But I'm just saying.
That's
was
why
a
they
very
don't go-
short, cruise, if you will.
It's not
And that's why they don't go that long, because they.
this company, but Viking has got one, and I don't know why. Ever since the wall went down, I had this bug of going behind the wall. And, no, not the wall, I couldn't get
Iron
the word.
curtain.
The iron curtain, yeah. I couldn't get the
A
word.
little
out.
louder.
Yeah.
Jack.
He's forgetful, not deaf.
Yeah.
So,
But not that bad there.
Yeah?
They got one that starts in Budapest
Yeah.
and goes all the way to Amsterdam.
Well, I think we have to change rivers. Because I'm pretty sure
Our
that.
one that went from Vienna started in Budapest.
Well, I was saying, I think at Vienna, if we went downstream, you end up going through Budapest and end up in the Black Sea.
Yeah.
I'm going to Italy before I do any of this other stuff.
But, you can go from like Basel all the way to the North Sea.
Well,
So my idea would be to get off the ship into this little town. I don't really care how little they are. I don't care if all we're gonna go see are cows and bulls. I just don't want it, that bus.
I agree, my back hurt for a week.
Try being on an STS bus.
is it hot in here?
Bad.
It was a great trip. That was one that we'll remember for the rest of our lives.
Yep. Sometimes I'll be just laying there and something will come up and I remember.
I was talking to a girl and her husband at the party last night. He travels all week, so he has tons of travel points. They went, and he's been like all over the world. They went to the Maldives, stayed in an overwater bungalow over spring break. I was like, oh.
Maldives or Maldives? Which
Maldives.
My sister
Maldives.
Kristen she said they were getting ready to take a trip and
it was all
her
food.
passport ended up not, and she didn't get her new one until so late that she sent the couple that they were traveling with and her husband, Rick, went out yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever, and she's been sitting waiting for her passport. Just got it yesterday, and when I was texting her at 5, she said, "Okay, my flight's finally here. I'm headed from Newark to Montreal." But she's doing a cruise I'd kind of like to do, going out St. Lawrence Seaway.
Mm-hmm.
you have to go through Lake Champlain. One of days you have to in and out.
So I'll be interested in seeing what she thinks of it.
You know,
So was it a cruise or?
But not like a giant boat.
Mm-hmm. One of the smaller class ships, but
me and
Like
Joe
Viking
cruised the
has a
Mississippi,
cruise
didn't we,
ship.
Joe?
We went on a
You
riverboat.
brought that
We
up.
went on a steamboat on the Mississippi.
Yeah,
Did we, Joe?
Yeah, but
the Dixie Queen.
no, it was the Natchez.
Oh, I knew I was gonna do that.
It was a real steamboat.
Sylvia.
I know.
The only real steamboat left, they say.
How was that? Was it? Yeah. I mean, Mississippi is very industrial, kind of muddy, and since it floods, there's nothing really on the Mississippi.
I mean,
You look like a bombed out building.
Where'd you get on?
New Orleans.
You know,
Where'd you get off?
New Orleans. It was just like a couple hours.
but it had the world's second largest sugar refinery in the world. I mean,
Chicken wings are good.
and
I know the one you're talking about, because they
Huh?
used to sell packaging to Dixie Crystals,
yeah, that's what it was.
That'd
and
be
they called
cut
them
your nails.
Imperial Sugar.
Yeah, more
It
chicken
looked
wings.
like it was bombed out. But
Yep.
that's why it was working.
Daddy, put some rice in there for him.
Oh,
How were their wings, Joe?
they were so good.
Joe, I'm
I
moving your
used to go
plate,
to
so
Memphis
careful.
with my very first sales job, back in the mid-'80s when I was living in Atlanta. And I've always found it kind of nasty.
What?
They say that has the super high crime.
It does. My sister lived there for a while, and she said black-white relations here are awful.
Well,
Only worse is New Orleans.
That's kind of what I heard too.
That was the black man. Joey's face on the train. His son, not everybody that talks to you in the audience is your friend.
Mm-hmm.
When I visited John when he was doing his internship, so this was in '84, and he and a friend were renting a house, and John was doing an orthopedic, internship at Oxnard, and the other guy was doing like a general something or other, and working at, they call it charity, which is, you know, where people who get shot on the street go take it. And so, you know, they both were doing night shifts, or anyway, we were sitting there, and I was, you know, John's talking about, well, I was scrubbed in for a, you know, knee surgery and an elbow surgery and back surgery, and the other guy's like, I had 4 gunshots, 2 knives, and I mean, just nothing but very violent crime.
Robert, who has his son-in-law, was in Chicago. He got out of there. He was in Chicago. He's a plastic surgeon. That's what he did, reconstruction surgery for shots in the face.
I read that Chicago's homicides are down 27% so far.
Were you guys?
No, they think it's just COVID caused a lot of people to be too close to each other for too long.
Yeah, I can see that.
You're stuck at home with nothing to do,
But drink.
and you kill
Drink
your
and
Uncle
fight.
John, 'cause you never really liked him anyway.
You drink and fight.
I have a hypothetical for you.
Oh my God, no wonder I can't see.
There's so many people in Chicago, it's not the whole thing. I hear it's just a section of it. And I know there's Posse Comitatus, but it's impossible. It's illegal for the executive to declare martial law in an area and send in troops just to walk these people back and forth to work and shoot the criminals.
No, I doubt it. But I think what they do is allocate resources accordingly. And so they do try to fill up every street corner with
I want
policemen there.
to see what it tastes like. Was it mushu?
Yeah.
Vegetable mushu?
Yeah.
Okay, I used to get,
It's just cabbage. And veggies.
yeah,
Well, I think if we could do that,
I used to have mushu pork.
then you
And then you
incentivize
wrap them.
corporations to
Did
go
you not
open
wrap? You
business
don't
No,
there,
I don't
and within a generation, you fix the problem.
I don't like meat in it. It's salty. It is very salty. I will be swelling up tomorrow.
I mean, even Jesus said,
You don't eat
the poor will always be with
the
me.
shrimp. You don't eat any meat at Chinese restaurant?
And there are just some people that,
Bill, when I was a little boy, my father used to take me to the countryside, and this people that he knew lived in a
Try to order
hut.
chicken broccoli with 2 pieces of meat, and it never worked out for me.
They were very poor.
Never
Dirt
got
floor.
it.
You could eat off the dirt floor, and that old man was always impeccably dressed, and you could tell where the clothes had been mended and stuff. But those people might have been poor by certain standards, but they weren't trashy people. They offered you their everything, their coffee. They offered you.
so really what do you think of the headlines late this week about China signing a deal with Cuba?
We were talking about that today with Rosie.
They say they had it for a long time.
Well, I think one of the things to think about is, look, Russia's been there for decades. It's not like all of a sudden we've got this terrible threat on our, you know, it's like a spy balloon. They could collect as much data from a satellite as they can from a spy balloon, so it's more symbolic.
But
You know, I was thinking about something about China the other day.
were you?
In the land of China,
They haven't. The only reason I don't think they would ever admit if COVID came from a lab is because if they did, that's an act of war, and people would be calling for war with China, even though that's the last thing anyone needs.
I don't think we can win that.
And that's why it's better that you don't admit it, because the public's gonna go crazy.
And I
And
tell you
throw us
why
into
I
war.
disagreed with that theory, because you don't kill your customers.
Huh?
Who are you going to sell your crap to if you kill your customers? It might have come out of that, but I think it was accidental. It wasn't.
Yeah, I do too.
you got 1.4 billion people. You kind of gotta watch your highly transmissible diseases.
They're having a population problem.
Oh,
China.
All right, guys, a friend of mine asked me a trivia question the other day, who, you know, he plays trivia at the bars and stuff. In what country is the farthest point on Earth away from any ocean? In what country is the point that is the farthest away of any other place on Earth from an ocean, not a river or a sea, but an ocean?
someplace in China, probably.
No, probably Russia, because Russia's the biggest country in the world. The only problem is not so long like Africa, but Africa would have the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean.
Yep.
So, and the Arctic Ocean, and the Mediterranean, so that'd be
Africa's got the Arctic Ocean?
at the bottom,
Oh, by South Africa?
yeah.
No, I think that would be the Antarctica.
Yeah.
Joe,
Oh,
you're
right.
right. It was China.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Pretty good, Joe.
Because
But
China
I was
has a
thinking
bunch of seas.
Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan or one of those that's, you know, and what's amazing, so there was an article in the Wall Street Journal a while back about Russia's conscripts and where they come from. And they had a particular guy who was from Kyrgyzstan. And so I looked up Kyrgyzstan on like Google Maps. I'm like, gosh, you don't realize how far west China goes. I mean, it goes almost past India.
It does.
You know, you don't think of that, but it goes in the northern part. It goes past India.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long.
It's a huge
way.
country.
And yet, in Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan, there's a couple of rivers that make it inhabitable for human beings.
They made a lake with a nuclear detonation in one of those tanks that the Russians did. And it's so radioactive.
That's what he was saying. I don't know.
Going back to the China thing, Cuba, you know, honestly, how do we, having bases in Taiwan, having bases in Poland, Russia, having bases all over this area, how do we tell people you can't put a base in Cuba? I mean, honestly, where do you get off?
In Bluff, I think they can use spy ships up to what, 50 miles or 75 miles? You know, because of international waters. And that's what we do. You know, we fly spy planes and spy ships in international waters off their coast so that when it's got signals, and Cuba's 100 miles, so.
I just don't get it.
Very sorry, 17 years like my kids.
Honey, have you got any of your spiders things? Can I have it? I was saying something. Here's some fly to go if I need to.
What do you order to?
Sarah gets put the light. Here, you want some light with it? Eat it.
Anybody running the news?
Mr. Bill, I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah?
Yeah. Maybe we're last time we were there.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's been a long.
Yep.
Well, last time we went to,
Well, we went out to dinner,
not that long ago. No, barbecue.
Midway, yeah.
Well, it's been a while since I've been over here. How about that?
Yeah, it has.
I haven't found any more.
Yeah, you guys kicked me and my brother out the house. I remember that.
I don't. What are you talking about?
Oh, mom and daddy did.
Daddy did not teach you how to.
They said, why don't you boys go out for dinner?
Yes. So we can
Being
have grown-up
kicked out.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind these kids.
What are you talking about grown up time? I'm 23 and he's at the time was 28.
You're still kids, Joe.
All right, parent time, how about that?
Okay, that's better. That's a better
Okay.
term.
I'm not, me being Cuban and not PC, I say old people
Oh,
time.
whoa, right here. You want more rice?
Yes. Me being not PC, I just say
I got
old
a
people
little more
time,
too,
but
if you want.
Okay,
It's gonna get tossed.
Here you go, Charlington.
there.
thank you.
What kind you get?
This is shrimp rolls with no shrimp roll.
Can I have some soy sauce?
No.
Huh? Why there isn't any?
This
How
is
is-
nothing but
How is
salt.
it? Is it still
Yeah, it's
working?
liquid salt.
Yeah. Although the other day I picked him up and I said, how was it today? And he said, this is like it always is. And I said, did you do anything like the food prep? He said, no. I said, you're doing any food prep anymore? He said, no. And I said, yeah. And he said, something along the lines of, I think I am ready to explore some other things.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
To which I said, I'm waiting. But the next day I said, if you want to do that, you've got to do two things. You got to let us know what kind of things you'd like to explore, and then secondly, where do you think you'd like to live?
Mm-hmm.
So think about that and get back to us.
We're trying to hire people.
What do you think you'd be good at doing?
In the meantime, I'd like him to just go to Carmel and say, look, I've been here for 2.5 years, I'm
Yeah.
a great employee. How about
Give me something else
some
to do.
variation in my
Yeah.
world here?
I
Yeah.
think they take advantage of it, because nobody else wants to work.
Mm-hmm.
But his other manager used to make sure that he said, oh.
What do you do? Jump on you?
Yes.
Oh, Angel! That's not nice.
No, it's just a.
Um,
You left?
I've
yeah.
never seen him jump on me.
I mean, you could do food prep.
I know, she used to always mix it up a little,
Mhm.
she tried to, and this guy.
Sit and roll silverware, and, just something.
Yeah.
Well, if it's anything like Joe, I never will forget, I told Joe about a job in the airport in the information department. And Joe's answer was, it was almost instinctual. It was like, oh, hell no. Why not? I said, why? Because those people are going to come up those planes that are late, all pissed off, and they're going to take it out on me.
You know what I think you'd be good at, Joe? Is,
SPS dispatcher.
yes.
Better than those dispatchers they got now. Reminded me of my Panthers traumatic stress disorder when Matt Rule was the coach.
They have routes that are just so ridiculous that where it took him 2 hours to get home. They were at the Arboretum and then went, where did you go? All the way back
Some
down
place in
Providence
South Park.
to Fairview and back up. I mean, it's after 6 when he gets home. He gets on the bus at 4.
He likes that because he gets to,
Not that much.
Mm-hmm.
he gets to BS.
But he's like, all you have to do is go down 51
right.
and you're close to where I live. And the lady won't deviate from the route because
Because
she
she's
doesn't
new.
know.
Most of them, that's what the other drivers would. And you know what Miss Shirley told me? When she was on the bus, she said, hey, Joey, you know what she told me? I said, what? He goes, Joey was right. And I said, I know she told you that.
Yeah, I mean, he could get people, he knows the streets of Charlotte better than I do.
And you've seen them. And you've seen them.
That was years of what's on the right, what's on the left.
Trees and houses.
Have you ever thought about that? I mean, how do you, when you drive, do you think in terms of roads? I go this road to this road, this road to this road, or do you kind of visualize it? I go to here and I turn left, and I go to here, and I visualize
A
it.
little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know,
Have you
because
ever been on a drive? Have you ever been on a drive where about
Yeah.
2/3 of the way through the drive you go, whoa?
How did I get here?
Yeah.
I just got back in the now.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That scares me because I'll be driving to work and I'll just wake up and
I don't think you're waking up. I just think that.
Mommy, remember that time we were on the way back from the beach?
I drive it every day, right? And then I realized.
I have that happen to me coming down Carmel. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, where's our street?
You gotta be careful
I
on that
realized
road.
I talk to Kathy Aiello like every morning on the way to work. So,
Yeah.
and it's usually the Carmel Road to Providence, and then she's at work. So then I go. So like I'm not paying attention to where I'm going. I'm talking to her, and when she retired, and then it was just. I was just on automatic pilot, and then I
But when you're driving, all you really need to do is be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, that's hard for some sighted
all
people.
that much. You have to know where you are relative to everything
Yeah.
around you.
That's hard for sighted people.
But he knows by the bump in the road, by a pothole, by a curve, by whatever, where you are.
Yeah, we remember on our way to the beach.
That's 7th. Where were we? 24th Street. I think this is what street? And he just.
We were on Tryon
Tell
Street.
your story.
Where we were on the way back from the beach, and there's this, like, we're supposed to turn down one highway, and she turns down somewhere, and all I feel was little tiny pothole after little tiny pothole after little tiny pothole, which I know isn't right. And I was like, where are we? We're not going the right way. She's like, yeah, we are. And she goes through 2 stoplights, rolls the window down, and says, excuse me, sir, can you tell me how to get there? And I was like, I told you you were lost.
Yep. He used to know right when we would get to the cold parties.
Yeah, because there's that bridge right before it.
Yeah.
And I know when we're getting real close to the beach because 22 has those bridges that go like this.
Yeah.
So what's your route? 74?
No.
To 501?
521 to 9, and then 903, then down 151, little piece of 52, 95, 327, 76, then like 76 turns into 501, then 22, and then you take the exit and go down. All the way, it turns into Main
I
Street.
have no idea what
One of
the
the
parties
guys who
were.
Yeah.
I just know where to turn.
kind of
But
near there.
coming home, my
But
sister
there's some
was like,
shortcuts
go
that
down 9.
I mean, residential.
I hate that way. There's nothing,
There's a short
No
cut.
bumps in the road.
Yeah,
You
he
go
did.
behind Darlington.
And
You
the
go
stops
through
that we make,
some of
and it's
those
just
roads
old
you cut
school.
out.
That's how I know how to get to the beach. And with him, it's like routine.
Yeah.
We used to go and stop at that Valero station, and the watermelon guy always gave us a watermelon. And then he always had a truck, yeah. And then we stopped like 10 miles down the road at McLeod's for peaches and ice cream. And then we'd stop at the cold. I mean, this is like an ordeal to get to the beach.
And
And
then
then-
with a pleasure, Joe.
Then we have to stop at the Cold Hardee's where we knew the manager Titi, and we pretty much ate for free over there, and she gave us her discount. And then it was an hour to the beach, but like we had to make all those stops and see all those people because they all remember Joe. Remember the watermelon man?
Yeah.
Well, when we went from, what she would do, she'd have a fish. But when we went from Jacksonville to Clearwater, okay, we had to go down south towards St. Augustine. Right there before you got to St. Augustine, there's
Bucky's.
we had to go there. Yes, all over the place. Joe got him some.
Beef jerky?
Yeah, I guess. No, I didn't get some of that this time.
Have you ever been to a Buc-ee's? Holy moly.
No desire either.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
what? You're talking about marketing. What the? Who would think that?
Well, I-
Exactly the old story.
The QT is the one that I feel like is like that.
Bucky's can fit inside of QT like 100 times. Or QT.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wait.
But they sell it.
QT on steroids.
Right. To me,
And
QT
it's
is
like a
enough.
tourist attraction.
QT's got everything that I might ever want. And most of the
Oh.
things I've done.
Tell them where we're going
Beaver
next year,
nuggets.
Joe.
Nashville.
Next year.
this year.
Nashville.
And guess where we're going? Oh, no, wait.
Yeah, Nashville.
Okay. No, that's not what I'm talking about. When we go to
Oh.
San Antonio.
Oh, in Austin? Yeah, like, when are we gonna be near it again? There's, like, the Buc-ee's, the biggest gas station and convenience store in the world, right between the two cities.
That's like the ones that are the largest ball of string.
I mean, so.
Yeah.
At least a gas station you can actually go in.
They, you know, they have a great bakery section, a whole wall of beef jerky.
Cool, so you get,
What is it? Brisket on the board? They
yeah,
scream
fresh
out,
brisket, so yeah, so you can hear
brisket
it.
on the board, and they put in, they chop it, and they make brisket sandwiches that he loves.
They are
They're
good.
good. They are good.
Brisket costs more than steak these days.
Yeah, and then
Never
beaver
mind the
nuggets.
big one, right?
Oh my gosh!
They
Have you
only
ever
do it
had
in Texas.
beaver nuggets? Is like
It's like kettle corn on steroids.
No,
It's like sweet
pieces
pirate
of
booty.
donuts that are made
Yeah.
a little
it's hard to describe.
It's like sweet pirate booty.
Yeah, it's like pirate booty meets popcorn and caramel.
Yes, it's so good.
It's like that cross between and it's addictive. What else do we get there, Joe?
Kolaches.
Kolaches.
What's a kolache?
It's like a hot dog, but it's not closed. It's a hot dog, but it's closed. Like the
It's like
I'm
that.
trying to remember what a
Like the
kolache
bun
is.
is
Like
baked
that is,
around
pepperoni
the-
bun.
Hot dog?
yeah.
Yeah, it's bread.
It's a Menace pepperoni bun, but they put something else. They make
Sausage and pepper cheese or something.
Yeah.
So good. Oh God.
Joe,
I want to go on the way to the beach, but it's such a pain in the butt with the dog.
Joe.
It is a pain in the butt with the dog. You try going through Buc-ee's when it's wall-to-wall people with a dog and a blind kid and a buggy.
on you. You do?
I
You
put
strap
him,
the dog on you?
well, I bring his blanket and I put him in the seat, and then I have him hold
Yeah.
on
To the car.
to the car. But then the last time I was there, they made me take the dog out of the buggy. Because dogs are, I said, he said the dog's not allowed in there. And I said, this is a service dog. And he says, I don't care, but it's not allowed in the buggy.
Right.
So then I had to hold him and then just go into the bathroom.
Yes.
And into the restroom. They had the nicest restroom.
That-
It's an awesome place. But it's like
You remember those
45
cars
minutes
from
to your
100 and
trip.
some
Yeah,
years
it really
ago?
is ridiculous.
Building when they come, that is exactly what it is. It's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the real estate has to be the cheapest thing that you could possibly.
But it's like right next to the interstate.
Yeah, it's right off 95. It ain't in the middle of
Right.
nowhere. Everybody travels 95.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. That's not like. And the other one is in the middle of nowhere. It's north where you got.
Off of 95.
In Greensboro is at Red Oak.
Oh, that's so good.
There's a Buc-ee's there?
No,
Red
Red Oak.
No, Red Oak. It's a.
Beer garden.
It's the Buc-ee's of beer
You
gardens.
know, Red Oak started over in one of the popular areas in Greensboro as a restaurant, right?
Yeah, it used to be I forgot the name of the pub that it
Then
used
they
to be,
built
but it
the
outgrew
brewery
it.
out there as just a brewery.
Yep.
It's right down from.
I remember, what's it, Market Garden or whatever, pretty far west. There was a restaurant that we would go to periodically over there that I thought was Red Oak or Red Oak Oregon.
It wasn't called Red Oak.
Well, yeah, you're right. You know something? I never liked Red Oak beer.
I like their
It tasted,
hummingbird.
it tasted to me like Boddington's Pub Ale.
Like what?
Boddington's Pub Ale.
Oh, what's that?
And it's an English beer that I think is worse than they talk about Bud Light. Well, I talk crap about Boddington's.
I love going. It's the Buc-ee's of beer gardens. think the nicest beer garden you ever went to in the city, but bigger and in the middle of nowhere.
There are signs on the interstate when you get down into South Carolina, but you're only 195 miles from Buc-ee's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you do that?
Did you think those people shot themselves in the foot with the Bud Light thing?
Yeah. Although, I mean, I don't think that what they did was anywhere near as bad as it turned out to be. For example, they sent a can to that guy with his, image on it or whatever. It wasn't like they created a commercial or, anything like that. And he's an influencer, so he put it on there. I think what happens is people get sick and tired of having that framed in.
Well, that's what you said. We discussed that before.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to do, but just don't shove it in my face.
Yeah, but you know what, Dave? The thing is, you tell me not to drink Bud Light when you're around and stuff. But that shit is so visual. I would never see the can.
I know.
I would never see. Not only had I never seen, I probably will never see it.
I spend so much time on LinkedIn. Every company has their Pride Month post. And you just, with nothing on company, it's just a check the box thing.
Yeah.
It reeks of insincerity. And also, like I was listening to Jim Nance on the golf thing today talking about our support for the brave and, the LGBTQ XYZ plus. And I'm like, bullshit. I think people just know it's insincere and they get tired of it.
Well, why does it have to be a whole month? One of the things that pisses me off, and this is for your behalf.
Well, why don't we have a month as blind people?
Found money.
When are we going to have an annual American month?
Cranky old white guy.
Yeah.
When are we going to have a blind month?
Black
There you
TV. Okay, fine, great. When are we going to have a white TV station?
That's called the Hallmark Channel.
No, okay.
When are we going to have a blind month?
If there was an article last week, that teachers don't want and
Yeah, so one that came out. It was so funny. This lady's having
or a nice card from the student.
ultrasound. And she goes, "Doctor, little girl." And the doctor answered, "We'll let the first grade teacher decide that." That was some awful thing.
We all have parties at the same time. And cousins, moms,
I mean, a lot of that stuff I do have some opinions about, but I feel like let's leave this to the locals to handle their own stuff.
I was in a line where Joey's,
everybody in the school is comfortable with this guy being a girl, or whatever it is, this girl being a guy, or whatever, and then there's no problem.
Yeah,
But it's only an issue when it's an issue.
but that guy who was 6'4", Leo, whatever it is, being, I mean, can you imagine LeBron James? I mean,
Just saying, my standpoint is there. You chicks, you handle that one. This is
yeah,
your
you
problem.
said that.
This is your problem, not mine.
You created it.
Well, not you created it, but it's your problem.
Yeah, really.
So you stand up and show me some balls.
Speaking of that, I think it was Jeff, what's it?
I can't believe
was
you got
it
a
Jeff
Friday
Donington?
I
Murray,
I didn't bring mine. I'm gonna try to pound it off on David tomorrow for his birthday.
and Larry,
David.
with a facial expression like that, the captain said, when a set of balls comes out of your pole dancers or your bachelorette dancer's pond.
Now that happens, especially in Thailand.
What?
I only drink Bud Light if I'm at the club. Like, I don't buy Bud Light at the grocery store.
Well, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal.
It's my deal. It has to do with you. That's why I told you to go ahead and get it.
But there was a guy that wrote an article, not an article, but a post on LinkedIn, a mile long. And he was an English guy in the advertising agency, advertising world. And I wanted to write on his thing and said, do you know why everybody in America hates smug, asshole, British people like you? Because you didn't get us. You have no idea what you're talking about. You know, you're not making excuses.
I'm gonna go get me another beer. You want one?
Well, you know what? That's why you don't like people like you. Yeah,
I'm gonna go get me another beer. Anybody want one?
no, thank you. I got me one.
What'd you get?
I brought over a couple of Heinekens.
Ooh,
You like one?
sure. Thank you. Huh?
You want a glass or kind of a can?
No, he made a can, man.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like this can.
Oh my God, that's a big can.
Thank you.
Hey, you driving anywhere, Joe?
Hell no.
Okay, then drink that damn beer and go.
Well, you all have a couple presidents.
Yeah.
He offered him.
I
Bill's
did.
good. Bill's good. Bill needs to stop here.
Bill, he offered him, Bill. He
Yeah.
offered him.
If for some reason I feel like I need another one, then
Thank
Of course,
God.
you got one.
The worst thing now is his back right here. The last time we had him operated on my other knee, her cousin, the chiropractor, laid me down at the beach, because everybody used to go to the beach then, because everybody was alive. And she had me put my legs this way, and all she did was push on my butt and pulled my shoulder. Bill, I swear to you, there was a big crack. And when I got up, it didn't hurt anymore.
well, I mean, can you lay down and take your right leg and keep it as straight as you can and put it over fairly far? And that's what you need to do. That's the number one stretch you got. It's the number two stretch you got to do.
What's number one?
The number one is just lay on your back and pull your knees to your chest.
Dog, what are you doing?
I probably wanted to go out.
What do you think of that Heineken?
Wonderful, thank you.
You know, Heineken's old as the hills, and yet
That's the good
every time I
stuff.
have one, I'm like, that's a good beer.
That's you know, the good stuff lasts a long time.
Yeah, that's why it's around.
Yeah.
Alright, so what?
Hey, you know what I gotta bring you?
One is
I gotta bring you some cowboy water.
your knee up. I can't do that with this knee. Well, alright, yeah, not with that one. The other one.
This is the best.
But you can take this leg and do this. Look.
I gotta bring you some cowboy water, Mr. Bill.
And look, it's just let the weight of your leg slowly but surely drag down to the ground.
That isn't the
Alright, don't lean your ass down.
Oh,
Keep your right leg as straight as you can.
your ass has to be against this?
Keep your right leg as straight as you can.
Well, it won't go that way.
Alright, so just that's that's all you
Joe,
gotta
you
do.
want, fortune
What you're
cookies?
giving is this
Yes,
right
please.
here.
Hey, what are we doing tomorrow, Mom?
Joe, I don't know, Joe.
Didn't you say something about OPP?
Aunt Lori was gonna get in touch with me.
I was telling Sue that I'm going to this store. I'll probably go to the Valentine one because that thing bothered me about what she said about the sex and stuff.
What does it say, Mommy?
Take a stretch class. That would be my main focus, a stretch class.
You know what I keep telling myself is do yoga.
Mommy.
I don't do Tai Chi.
That's what yoga is.
Tai Chi is supposed to be the best.
Sue, and a million years ago when I went to Hong Kong to visit my friend Bill Healy, I'd go out on the deck of their apartment building and out of the park, and every park are these little old people going.
Mommy. What does it say?
Oh, let me see, Joe.
And they're in their little Chinese, pajamas.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say,
They say that. It works like your all of the muscles in your body. It's really good for you.
That's like Joe said.
Well, we had
An unexpected visitor will bring you great blessings.
they did Chinese food.
I don't know about the unexpected part,
Oh, yeah.
but you're certainly a blessing, and thank you for coming over.
Yeah, the whole thing was unexpected.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to do.
So an unexpected visitor is gonna come pick me up and say, let's go to the club next weekend.
I said he I don't use it, what's gonna happen, I'm gonna get used to walking with a limp.
I never use my cane.
Well, I tell you, that recovered so quickly.
Amazing.
This is my fifth week. I mean, I was like, Beth, you were up and around like for 3 weeks. She's like, no, what? I was like, I think you hurt.
You're glad I'm not your physical therapist. I'd be like, hey, Daddy, let's walk from a trade and try into my work. Can I borrow your fridge?
What do you want? You want to go outside?
Love you.
Love you too,
Go
Dad.
outside? Oh, he wants to sit in the chair.
Ah. Okay, I'll sit across from you on the couch.
Okay. We're gonna sit in the chair.
So,
Needy.
7 pounds.
Uh-uh.
Huh?
6.
Oh, Angel, actually,
Sorry.
How's your knee doing, Miss Beth?
Many to
That's me,
myself,
it's good.
but they're so frail, they never live long because of something.
All right,
Hey,
where's
those
going?
little dogs last much longer than big dogs.
Yeah, Harry's, he's just
I saw
lasted
17.
17 years.
Right about
Yeah.
7.
My mother's lasted 14 years. Sally's is 17. Multi Yorkie, Yorkie Poo.
But see, that dog that my dad's cousin had is a teacup.
And
Oh, what's it called, Joe?
What was his name?
A teacup poodle?
It was a teacup Yorkie, I think. They had to watch it. Like, he wanted to go. It's their instinct to go jump down the couch. They could not let it jump down the couch because they're so fragile.
It's only 2 pounds.
Really? My friend said his mini Yorkie, he said when I took it out, I had to watch because the hawks would look at it.
When he was a puppy.
Look at this accident though. Yeah, that's about like my friend Danny's.
Look at him when he's.
Let me see.
My friend Danny Plaisance had one and he used to bring it into the office. Rosie.
That's what happens.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. I would have, you know,
Why don't you lay down?
I would have berated, because I kind of like this, it feels better.
Yeah.
I would have berated him, except as a man who owns standard tools, you're not exactly one to point your finger.
Hey,
Cuban red.
my furry god brother, Obi.
Who does?
I said, as a family, he spent $1 billion.
Oh, my God.
I can't imagine. I couldn't read that pretty much on that.
Duncan has been a wonderful single dog,
Yeah,
I
he
must
has.
say.
Yeah,
I don't
once
have
he
any
got over
desire-
the
I don't-
initial shock.
I think that Beth doesn't have any big need to have a second one, thanks to Duncan. He is already,
Not after 2 in a row. He's in 2 in a row.
there just won't get any more white.
My cousin, he is in tears because he blames himself. But you know, being a Cuban redneck like he is, PhD, everything else from Carolina, but he's still a damn redneck. He likes cockfights. So he has them all over the backyard, and one of them killed his.
That's funny, my friend
He
John
went to
Logan.
jail in Miami.
When John Logan had a next door neighbor when he in his other house that was Hispanic, I don't remember what, but their backyard was full of cages.
Oh, yeah.
That's just cool.
It is cool.
Well, you know what John said? Look, they're just chickens. It's not like dogs. They're
Yeah.
chickens.
We're gonna eat them anyway.
No, you're talking about somebody who worked in the industry and said those animals are so dumb that's the only thing they're good for to be eaten.
That guy said those turkeys, they wouldn't probably survive if it wasn't for, you know, they just have no, they're not real animals. They're just like meat that's being.
But still, you know one thing, and I used to like it when I was a kid, but I've changed a lot. I mellowed down a lot, I guess, but I used to like bullfights. And now I think it's the cruelest thing, and I despise it.
I saw one in,
Bullfight.
in Sevilla.
Sevilla.
In that was about 84, 85.
And they started at 3 o'clock sharp, did it not?
Yeah, and it was hot.
It's the only damn thing in the Spanish world that starts on time.
Bullfight.
Bullfight. It is.
Wow.
What I didn't like about it was the deck was so loaded. You know, those guys came out and stuck things in their backs, and they might have a shot at those guys. You know, who put the prongs and jumped into the stands. But the picador, I mean, that was
You know, before they get them out, did you not notice that they had some like ribbons coming out of them? They cut that muscle, whatever, to make sure the head stays down.
Oh, I don't want to hear that. Rudy, I don't want to hear any more about it.
Really, one of the bulls came out.
No,
and it entered the ring, and it went one way, it went the other way, and it.
Ooh.
And
Hey, do you follow me? Do you need dental floss?
And
You need
said,
it, yes.
that's unmasculine, get him out of here, and they did, he didn't even get his fight. But I thought that was unnecessarily cruel, because it's like, look, that's kind of what you do, is you avoid before you get into the battle. But yeah, it was, what a funny thing. You know, it's funny, Rudy, to think about, you know, Spain was part of the Roman Empire for a long time. And you think of them as being something else, but they're not. I mean,
They're right outside Seville. There is a town where Tegerin, the Roman emperor, was from. They had him. Yeah, it was part of Spain.
but then what was I still don't remember. Alhambra is the fortress.
Alhambra is Arab.
Yes. So, but this was a cathedral that had been a mosque that had been a Roman temple.
Right, I seen that.
And it had all the columns.
Yeah,
It
I
had
saw
all the
that.
mixed columns. You know, it's collected columns from everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's when you're saying, all right, you know, it's been a cathedral for 1,000 years, and it was a mosque for 1,000 years before that, and then it was for 1,000 years a Roman temple. It's like, wow.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
There's some old stuff over there.
That's an issue.
You can tell with the history lessons we got on the way down to the, I mean, the Vikings and
Wasn't the Versailles was something, wasn't it?
No.
I thought so. You know what I thought about Versailles was, no wonder these people strung them up. I mean, these
We didn't
guys.
go to Versailles.
no,
You
but I
missed
know
the
what
bus.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
You didn't do much in Paris, did you?
Literally not proverbial.
Literally missed the bus.
But
You missed the bus. You wouldn't have missed no bus if I was around.
You think about how much money was spent on this ostentatiousness. And you know that there was Brazilian people, 99% of the people out there living in other countries.
You know you wouldn't have missed the bus if I was around.
I know, Jim. I could think I'm supposed
What do we call that, Joe?
Unless you wouldn't miss the bus if I was around unless I was at Alchemy the night before. And
That's really change that I learned something on this trip too. From now on, I'm getting involved in the planning and the information. I always left it up to her and.
I call that Rudy. I call that famous last words.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, like, you just followed around like a little puppy, like.
Yep, that's what my intention, that's my idea.
you didn't go to the hotel. You didn't go to the hotel like you did in Rome.
And I ever did a big vacation. I said, let's go out west. She said, okay. And she said, where are you going? I said, okay. And so I was like, all right, here's what we're going to do. And I got out the map. And I was like, first we're going to fly to Salt Lake. And we're going to here. And there's Motel 6 for us. We're going to here. And then we're going to drive. And we're going to do this park, this park, this park. And stay at a days in here. And it was, bam, 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 bam. And Beth was like, oh, hell no. And that's when we stayed at the
Dude Ranch.
no, this is the first one. This was in Yellowstone. We stayed at the little cabin in just in West Yellowstone, and then finished up in Jackson Hole.
I like that place. It's a very ritzy place. I mean, it's like.
Jackson Hole?
Jackson is, Yellowstone is very.
No, Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole,
It's
yes.
like, it's supposed to be.
Jackson Hole is the area, actually.
Well, it's just actual town.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, I'll let you help me plan Italy.
Where do you want to go? North, south,
Yeah.
way south?
The Amalfi Coast
Yeah.
for like 5 days and then wherever you want to go.
I want to go to Naples, but I ain't gonna be on this trip, so okay.
I hear Puglia is very pretty.
Oh, yeah. They got a restaurant in a cave.
You have to look at the hotel to be able to get reservations for that restaurant
Yeah,
along the railing where you can have that view. I just heard it was very pretty.
Hey, you gotta do all that for a view? That's the sighted people stuff.
Yeah.
when mommy and I
Where you
go,
going?
I still love my baby clothing.
we always
Oh,
scout for that. It's too visual. When you're thinking about bringing you along, if it's something that's too visual, there's no point.
That's why I want to go to San Francisco.
Alright, what is your vision?
That's a good point. Good question. I really haven't got.
You don't want to go to Italy?
No. I just don't have like, that next trip I want to do is.
No.
However, if I did a river cruise, I'd want to do the Rhine.
The Rhine? Did you do the Rhine before?
No. Because I think you can do that
Did
a
the
long,
Danube,
long way. Like I said, I think you can go from Basel
Yeah.
all the way out to Hamburg.
You know, that's where my ex went when she went to Switzerland.
They have a river cruise.
Basel. That place is so visual and so boring and so expensive.
Friday, she's getting ready to.
Yeah.
They're pushing it. Portugal, they
Well,
say
remember our
that-
tour director, what was
It's beautiful.
Kid Corridor,
Yeah.
she was from
Porto.
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 I hear, that's where Bill Healy's wife would go.
Yeah.
You know what I heard about the
And so was,
Speaking of which, Healy sent me a WhatsApp 2 days ago saying, I'm pretty sure my contract is up at the end of next year, and I'm the best man I day rate here guy. And if you want to come to United Arab Emirates and visit Abu Dhabi, 'cause you
ooh, I'll go.
I hear it's amazing.
I know, it's one of those things I'm like,
You should go, show you.
Well, you know what, if I end up doing this teaching route and go that way, I'll have time.
you know, honestly, my prejudice is.
I want to go to Cairo.
I'm going to, every time I see a cruise, you stop in Algiers and you stop in Tripoli and then I'm like.
Tripoli? I wouldn't go to Tripoli. It's not safe.
Another cruise I would think would be like the Alaska cruises where you go from Seattle and, go all the way up to Alaska. Well, I told that I'd like to do one of those things where
You could just leave me in Seattle if you ever do that.
Canada, spend a couple days there, and then take the train to Banff.
Oh, I said that,
And stay at Lake Louise and then come home.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a that goes all the way across Canada, to the lake, then he comes out from Lake Champlain.
But my cousin who lives in Katy, they're on like their second or third Norway cruise,
Right?
where you go in and out of the fjords.
Yeah, they've been on 1, 2, 3 African safaris too, so.
Yeah, I need to go to, if I do that, I just have this thing about going to Maine. To Maine, to all the little fishing villages and see.
Hey, Daddy, you know what I heard about
You
Maine?
can do that on a week, you can do that in one day and be good.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I heard about Maine?
They built up, Joey, don't interrupt.
No, that's okay,
What could you do on Monday?
I heard about Maine that the lobsters are not as good in the summer as they are in the fall and winter.
Maybe so, but they are good.
Okay.
Martha's Vineyard, they are.
We had Mother's
so
Day,
good.
we had 5.
Oh, we had tons. We had
All I know is I had my fill of lobster, and it's funny, that's still my Facebook page.
lobster roll.
I want some king crabs.
We were in Vermont, that's every chance we got, we ate,
We had a lobster roll.
It wasn't on a hot dog bun, it was in a real hoagie and got
Yeah,
it.
I had a buttered.
Yeah,
God, it
they
was-
have a special
yeah.
roll. It's a roll. It's-
Yeah.
It's not a bun, it's
Yeah,
not a bread.
it's a roll,
It's like a
yeah,
yeast roll.
yeah.
almost.
We don't have those down here.
Before COVID hit, we still have money down on that. We need to check on that before we lose our money.
We,
Yeah, or you.
oh, okay.
On Roy
I wanna
Street,
go.
We had booked a cruise, that started in, New Jersey, New York, and then went up the New England coast. It went to Rhode Island, it went to Boston, and it went to Maine, Bar Harbor, Maine, and then up through Nova Scotia, and then back down again. A
Mom,
couple places in Canada.
Portland had a pretty big cruise ship activity, which I was amazed, because Portland was kind of a crappy little town, you know.
No, it's not.
Portland, Maine?
Yeah.
No, that was one of the stops.
It's okay, it's not.
you know why Portland, Oregon got its name?
How?
Tricia and,
Because it was a port.
It was named after Portland, Maine, actually.
Reunion every year.
We went to Maine for a wedding.
And they rented a house on the water in Bar Harbor. And, a big house for his whole family. And she said you could walk right into town. And it was on the water. She said it was the best vacation that they've done.
The second time we drove out to the middle of nowhere, and it was right next to Lake Sebago.
Sebago?
Yeah.
So like, you know, River Sebago,
Shoes.
the two.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Bill, when we get into this global warming thing and Florida, I think Canada's gonna be gorgeous with all those lakes and stuff.
You know, when I went out and did that beach trip with Charles Wickham a couple of years ago, there were forest fires in Canada where glacier had no view. And that
There's
was
some now.
that was 20.
That's the way it is now for me.
Hey,
I'm just saying, that's always been. It's happened for years.
yeah, well,
You know,
I hear Nova Scotia was like completely burned up, so that was our cruise itinerary, so I don't know if we'll go on that one.
But see, here's the thing. I don't think I was on that cruise when you booked it.
No, you
So
weren't.
my sister's doing.
So what happens if you get it back? How would I go?
And I think you do some of Nova
So just buy
Scotia.
another ticket, Joe.
And I would be interested in that. I would like to go to Quebec City. I hear that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard a lot about that.
We went in and spent a few hours and left.
Quebec City?
Yeah, he said,
I did Montreal for a business trip.
Yeah.
And guided tour and French-speaking people, you know, eating in
I think
downtown
Montreal
Montreal.
was what I was talking about. They said that there was an underground city in Montreal. It's absolutely impressive.
And they say it's a tourist trap too.
Like underground Atlanta.
Yeah. I've never been to Underground Atlanta. We tried to go on our senior trip and it was closed.
Yeah, it opens and closes and opens and closes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a crime
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah, that was the only time this dude got in our face
It's basically
and said, in Atlanta, it was me and, there was only like two-sided people in the group, our teachers, and it was a bunch of blind people. Guess the dude comes to our face, hey, what the hell are y'all looking at? I was like, I didn't make sure and don't talk to that dude, because, see, the Cuban was coming out in me, and I wanted to say, I don't know what I'm looking at, but not you.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah?
and then you call him a gangbanger and the teacher got on you.
Yeah. You know what? Because only gangbangers ask about that.
When I was a senior in high school, my friend John Logan looked at the town on Saturday to do, so they had to write a term paper, they had to go to the downtown library. And, you know. So
Where, here?
Coming out of the library, going in the parking deck to get the car, and we go by, there's a bunch of black guys, and these are like 50-something-year-old guys, and they're all smashed, you know, they're over there drinking. And I said, John, pick up the speed. He's like, what? I said, let's get going. And all of a sudden, I hear this, hey, white boy!
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
And then he goes, play that funky music.
That was funny. That was actually funny.
But anyway, and then these guys, I think it was Miss what's it, Miss Shaw?
Miss Shawnee.
Yeah. Joey and his buddy Matt, met from Conway, North Carolina. Every day they liked anything, they would go, that's racist. And Shoney got on their ass all the time.
And you know what Matt said?
Yes, it is.
You know what Matt said? Matt's like, how's that racist? Everybody's black to me.
You know, growing up in Atlanta was, I think, the first city that ever had a black mayor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mayor
Atlanta.
Jackson.
Detroit
Yeah.
did, I think it's.
Mayor Jackson. Lee was that
And they named the airport after him. Him in Hartsfield.
He was integrated early on.
I got, you know, you say whatever you want about him, but you gotta think of that. He went out to the Hartsville Authority and said, okay, there's X amount of black people in this town. For every dollar you spent, X amount of cents is gonna go to a black contractor. And that's when a lot of black millionaires.
I was one in my high school, Herman.
Heard. That's it.
Atlanta's like the black Miami.
I remember my dad saying, you know, all that political, all that stuff, he said, it's so crooked. The black guys just want, it's their turn.
Yeah.
He said, I don't have a problem with it, it's their turn.
Yeah, we told me it's their turn. That's what Al Melvin told me about the Arabs. And he said, look, Rick, when we came out of Egypt, we killed everybody. It's Jews. He's a Jew. He said, then you guys came over and the Crusades and other shit and talking around and you killed everybody. It's their turn now.
That's true.
I've been in this Bible study group, a long story short, that has been all New Testament, and it's all been the Pauline letters, you know, and now we're doing the book of Joshua, and I'm like, well, I'll be interested to hear how these Southern Baptist rednecks, what they think of this, because, you know, what's the lesson in Joshua? All it is we're gonna kill the Hittites, and then we're gonna kill the Moabites, and then we're gonna kill them, and God's gonna help us. Unless we don't massacre everybody in the town, if we left the dog alive, and then God punishes us.
But there's I forget what book it is, but there is a passage in the Old Testament where God told them, you gotta kill everybody. And they left one guy. And then the king said, no, I'm not gonna kill this guy. And then he came back and his tribe killed a bunch of, and the word was, I told you to kill everybody.
That's the book of Joshua. That's what I'm referring to. And I don't think it was a person. I think it was like, you know, somebody said, you know, we don't need to kill all the cattle, do we? We're going to take a couple of cows. Uh-oh.
But I said, you know, really, I like, I just got through the book of Acts. In between, I read scripture every morning in between.
What?
You want some
Right
pie?
before Pentecost.
Sure.
which is
Here.
Acts.
What a pie is it?
Key lime.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first books written. Or the first book written.
I would have thought, I mean, Luke wrote it, right?
Yeah.
So would he have written the book of Luke?
Spoon.
Where do you want
I'm still trying to figure who the author is.
Hey, Dad.
Who is John? Who wrote the book of John?
John, right? I mean,
Yeah, but who is John?
John was the youngest of the apostles.
But was he the brother of Jesus?
Well, it depends if you're Catholic or not. It clearly says, your mother and your brothers are outside waiting for you. You know, when he was in the,
And he said, who is my family?
yeah. Oh, honey, thank you.
I was about to tell you this key lime pie. She asked you if you wanted some.
You were thinking of me?
Yes.
Damn, this is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could say I made it, but I didn't.
Let's write it in there.
You make a great one, Sue.
What's the deal with this post basket full of mail?
Huh?
Where do keep all our junk?
Can you show, speaking of mail, can you show Bill that? Susan? Can you show Bill that contraption I got?
What contraption?
You can do it after pie.
Miss Beth, how's your new knee doing?
Good, great. They don't eat meat. The meat tenderizer.
Yeah.
It's the one on the Food Network.
Yeah,
Had to have one.
I bet.
I get a,
I got that hammer, and I put,
He was
yeah, I got a hammer.
Put a staple on it, go.
You do the hammer and it,
Come
I
here.
put it inside a bag and it flies all over the place.
what do you do for that, for like country fried steak type meat?
So, I take a London broil,
Okay.
and first I put the 8-off country ice on it, on one side, and then I put holes. East and west, and north and south. Then I turn it around and do it again. And it makes a big difference, actually. I mean, it's really a tender meat when you put it on the grill.
No.
Doggy's gonna like food.
No.
Thanks, Sue.
Give it a try. Wish it was daddy.
Sit with that. Well, when you're here.
So how's your first day of freedom going, Mommy?
Just felt like Saturday.
We did laundry.
Not free.
No, because you haven't retired yet.
Normally, I would be getting ready to go to the beach on Monday.
Did you get arthroscopic surgery or something? Got the big old box.
Well, when you retire?
I've had it done once on this one and twice on that one.
What do you
On
have
this
to
one,
be
you can see
done?
that? Really, that was a long time ago. So that's a scratch.
No.
Well, I know one of those things.
Yeah, that was a fall.
Bill, you did anything?
What do you have me to done? Left or right? I was driving for 6 weeks.
Bill, try the shots. Did your insurance pay for it?
I tried that on my left knee. It didn't last more than a couple of weeks.
You liked it?
This knee I've had needed, when I was hit about 50, they start saying, when are you gonna sweat you, take your knee from you. And it's been an issue for.
Daddy said they lasted until the last day of the trip.
Yeah, the last day I couldn't make something. Oh, it was Bill and Craig going to that museum.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, at one point, Greg looks back at me and he's a block ahead of me. And I said, Greg, I'm sorry, but I've only got one speed, it's medium. And Craig knows it's opposite.
Oh my God.
The funniest thing, the biggest memory I'll ever have from that whole trip was Katie going, why do you think I stay drunk all the time? I was like, Greg is pretty,
He's intense.
he is wired pretty hard.
It's so funny.
That's why he's so little. Everything vibrates inside.
He's burning calories just.
You should have seen us trying to keep up. That first day after we took a nap, and we were to go out, and they were coming in. Yeah. And so we're like, yeah, we're going out. And they were like, we'll go out with you. Oh my gosh. That one and Craig. They were like a mile ahead of us. Like, just go. Just go.
You know what I heard about partiers in Spain?
Black dog.
That a guy in his 30s from the U.S. has a hard time keeping up with his Spanish grandma.
Grandma.
Huh?
They don't get started till 12.
You know, they do everything so late. Like, how do they sleep other than from 1 to 3?
I never will forget, I was at, the Rufus dad, I forgot his name, house. We go up and he goes, oh, if you want to, we can walk up and see Ezekiel and walk around the town. And this is a 65-year-old man at the time. And he started walking, man, and I could do it. Up with him. And it was far as hell, and I think he said he was right around the corner. I said, I can't believe your age to do that. He said, hell, I still play football with the kids.
Well, usually when you live in a city, you do a lot more.
That's like me and Mr. Poole.
Europeans are so much healthier, and
They eat fresh food.
they just live life better.
Hey, Daddy, that's like me and Mr. Poole. Remember?
But also, also, I think, see, there's a lot less stability there. I think there's, I don't think it's all roses.
I mean, it's not. No place is.
But honestly, they do things living. You know, not, because I remember in the evening, in one evening, we were out in Mother. I mean, you saw mom and dad, their kid, and the little grandson on a stroller, just walking by the evening, looking at the stars.
You know, I know people that like, no, I don't go out and do anything. I just work and that's it.
You know, I was thinking about like living where we live is, there's no walking around here. You have to drive everywhere you're gonna go. In a way, living in the burbs like we are is it's like the worst of them.
Exactly. I say that all the time.
They have vendors and what?
I say that all the time, Mr. Bill.
Yeah, okay, Joe. Yeah. You want me to pick you up?
And you know what? Try not being able to drive and try being on STS every day and taking it 1 to 3 hours to get home.
12 to 4?
You know,
One? I'll put you up at 1.
my buddies that live in the hood, they're home in like 15 to 20 minutes. And they got everything they need within walking distance or a bus ride. City bus ride.
Joe,
What?
I don't wanna live like that.
Joe?
In the hood. Joe, we'll get you a place in the hood, okay?
Okay.
I don't give a damn, he'd love it.
Yes, Mommy?
You make friends with all the hoodlums in the hood too.
Yeah, I
Joe, we're
would.
going with Aunt Lori tomorrow to, OPP.
What is that?
I have no idea.
The only thing I heard about was a park on Providence or on Ray Road.
12 to 4, vendors and music.
What about beer?
I'm sure they have it, Joe. What is OPP?
Old Providence Park is the only thing I know about.
It's in Pineville. I don't know, Joe.
I thought the last time we talked about it too, OPP was the Brewers. No, there's no beer after dessert.
There you go.
What do you want?
Nothing, thank you.
Rudy's got some,
No, nothing, thank you.
Hey, Daddy.
Rudy, turn off that light.
Hey, Daddy.
I got that. Yes, Joey.
I know you don't want to live in the hood where like everything's in walking distance, but boy, you know I do.
I know, Joe.
Go in the car.
So Joe's been, that he's gonna take care of me when I get old and decrepit. I'm gonna push my wheelchair in. I always told him he used to be a litigator. He's always, so yesterday, starting with mother said something about.
Yeah, she's just going.
And Joe goes, I know I'm almost for a month you should be. I said, hey, you just said you take care of me when I get old. And you complain about a month?
I didn't complain about it. All I said was I didn't say it wasn't easy, or I didn't say it was easy. Did I? No. But I said I love you, so I would take care of you because you took care of my blind ass, and you know I'm not easy to take care of, even though you love me.
Yeah, but you know what, Joey? When I do that, it's like the biggest pleasure in my life that there's one in my life.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? Doesn't mean it's easy.
Walks better without a cane.
Never. I tried it once and it just,
See, I don't even use it so much, but he says that when I do that, I limp. And if I don't, that's why I use it.
I think the cane, I don't think you need a cane, Rudy. I think you're walking worse with the cane than without the cane.
You know,
See,
I
that's more of a limp.
See, I'm not even putting pressure on it.
So why would you use it?
Because the man told me to do it.
Well,
I remember watching Rudy walking down to our gate.
Where are you doing your
in,
PT?
JFK.
Where's he doing his PT? Home? Still?
well, yeah, Friday was his last time, and then I think that's up.
Well, no, then you go for months and more.
Really?
Yeah, but you have to go to PT, they don't come to you.
Did they not tell you that?
If you can't drive.
can't drive.
You would have to drive them.
Well, maybe I'll wait until I
You have to, Jeff.
Maybe I'll wait until I can drive. But I did a good 3 months, maybe 4 months. I learned. Remember? Had to. She was part of, you start lifting weights and all kinds of stuff. She really got me going.
Daddy was on. Sometimes I get.
No, I was older.
Sometimes I get all kinds of texts from like
Huh? I was,
other people in my contacts, and I saw one from Dad because I have to look at them in case they're talking to me. I saw one. Daddy said the physical terrorist just left.
the physical terrorist.
Yeah.
Still goes to next year, friend.
I was like, oh, that's my daddy.
Lori was at school today with my mom, and Lori was at school and she said, Sheila and, Rudy, you are walking worse with the cane than without. Yeah,
Okay,
don't you think?
okay.
Okay, whatever.
No,
Just
I
here
heard
with
you.
you. But Sheila had.
Speech on 1 hour. Stop. 1 hour. 26 minutes. Trace near top right. Trace 1 hour. 26 minutes. 20. Speech off.
Hey, mommy. Hey, mommy. Who, me? Hey, mommy.
Almost the same pain, and I went to him and said, I think I need this, I think I've got the same thing going on with my meniscus, and he was like, well, you know, kind of waffled on me, you know, and then he said, all right, and he told Beth when he walked out, he said, yeah, the problem was exactly where you said it was. So that one was instantly better, you know, I mean, just that was one of the best surgeries ever. I'm kind of dreading the knee thing because I know how long it takes.
Well, everybody that's had it done, except maybe Superwoman over here that I talked to, they say it's 3 months. It's 3 months before you.
Well,
What did Jason say about physical therapy after him?
He said my mobility is perfect. Okay? And now he's got me riding the bike forwards and backwards and stuff. The problem is beating the pain. But he said, you're looking at 3 months.
So you don't need further physical therapy?
No.
She went for 3 months.
Well,
how long has it been? 3 weeks?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Long time.
Oh, my God.
Well, it's not been at least 8 weeks.
See the people you got taking care of your daddy?
Yeah,
one in Valentine.
There's one in Valentine's White that Jason was telling you about that they have. If the doctor decides more PT, but I got all the exercises that I'm supposed to do.
Are you doing them 2 times a day?
Yeah, no, not 2 times a day.
You know what? It's just like, you know what I was told him
Good for you.
about the knee surgery is that the pain, when you have the surgery, the pain's gonna get better. When you don't have the surgery, the pain's just gonna get worse.
What's the matter, baby?
Huh?
Kind of spit up. He just does that.
It's old. Clothes and stuff.
It's like my eyes versus my cochlear implant. My eyes hurt like hell. My cochlear implant was easy.
Yeah, eyes hurt like hell because then faucet screwed up.
Yeah. Cause he had a bless his heart.
Joe.
What?
Huh? She thought he and Tasha did her eyes for macular degeneration.
What, mommy?
She loved him. Yeah?
Yeah, but the problem with Antossi is not that he did bad work.
Yeah.
It's that his staff didn't contact the pediatrician and talked about the antibiotics.
No, I totally.
So I'm
I'm
really
not-
pissed about that
I'm just
because,
saying my mother loved him.
I mean, if there's 2 brothers, there's 2 Antossis.
Oh, really?
And they do the same thing, yeah.
Well, one just retired.
Yeah, I know, because I saw him at the Y after he did Joey. I think Joey did it.
Well, honey, that was a painful surgery. All the nerve endings in your eye, it was painful surgery.
There was no need for that infection.
Okay,
Called the
but
pediatrician, and they have prescribed the right antibiotics. He wouldn't have suffered as much. And with
for the
that,
first 5 days, it wasn't an infection.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, it was just pain from the surgery
But when the infections start?
it
later.
was awful.
Rudy, what time did you have to be at the surgery center?
11. They moved me. They called me and they moved me. It was supposed to be like 5:30 or something, and they called me.
Did I have to go?
And you still had to, and you still got out that afternoon?
No,
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 he spent the night.
absolutely not. I remember the father, and some stuff came back when they checked me out, and I didn't understand the medical jargon. But he almost made it mention that I had got it. You know about it? I said, oh, hell no, you're not saying you know that. And sure, and I'm glad I did because I could pee, so they had to put a catheter in. But, you know, at least, yeah, I had.
Damn, you couldn't pee?
Anyway, so
What?
it's a lot.
I don't know, I want, that stuff is good. God bless
No
you.
kidding, I took that, I had finally, this is the only
Back
state
in the
that
day,
passed
UNC, when you guys got the news done, they did that stuff, and they're all like,
Oh, no, I was moving. See, I think it was the diagnosis of the oxy. That's what I heard about it. They want me to take 1 5 234 pounds, for God's sakes. You know, give me some drugs, will you?
Pulled it, I tried to look here at 11 o'clock. It was 11.
And it's all legal mumbo jumbo. Everybody from the nurses to the patients says,
Was, you know.
that dose is not going to work. You know.
Sometimes the law doesn't really know what it's doing, like my cochlear implant.
something on LinkedIn the other day, somebody was talking about the opioids.
Okay, what are you doing? I'm like.
I didn't want to say you're wrong, but I just went, perhaps it's really a fentanyl crisis. It's not an opioid crisis. Fentanyl accounts for 70% of the overdoses. It's fentanyl.
It's fentanyl and
It's not
opioid.
oxycodone. It's not over-the-counter. It's not prescription drugs. It's fentanyl.
Bill, the saddest thing I saw is when Tony was still here and was still working at, well, he had been working at Midwood. There was a guy behind the bar that, not you, but that's another field like this thing.
Yeah.
But us people like me, common please, would love to shake the body of that guy. He had a 40-year-old son. One night he went home and OD'd on him.
When he wants to talk to me,
I have a guy who knows his 4th grade. When high school with, he was a trainer brother with me in Carolina. 23-year-old son.
we're doing this weekend.
Earlier this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
I said, you know, he wasn't a drug taker, he just, you know, gonna do a little blow here with his friends.
You know, I'm usually driving to work,
You know, honestly, that's one good thing about, my upbringing.
asking questions.
I remember being drunk when I was
There's
17.
no
And it was my father and my godfather. In one of those little
And I think it's like with
bars
me,
on the side.
I'm sure, with other people.
I didn't start drinking until I was like 27.
You work, you do all the work.
And when all the kids were talking about in high school, we're gonna go to this, we're gonna go to drink.
Especially now that I'm not out in the
That's
morning.
what I think.
So it's gonna have to be him that calls me
Right.
in the morning on his way to work, so at night, because I'm not, it's just ridiculous trying to get a conversation.
And my mother, she was 89 years old, and she had a fractured spine, and when she got out of the car, she was on I'm like,
Damn.
yeah, that's exactly what I said, no worry for me.
And somebody
Did that
raised
help
that.
her?
No, of course not. So that's when
She
we,
just endured all that pain.
she was a mom on the truck,
She was tough.
but that's when we got,
Time.
what's her name?
Wouldn't go in the ambulance.
Well, she said, yeah, I had a cracked rib. And for the longest time, I thought she had a cracked rib. And then when she had that fall on Christmas, and I went down there, and I was talking to the doctor, and he was like, what are they talking about? She's got a fractured spine. And then she fell again, and it went from a 3-4 to like a 7-8.
I know, but,
And that's when we got hospice.
yeah. Honestly, you good drugs, put them on that thing, that's what it
And also, don't
Give him some weed.
guilt trip her, you know.
89 years old, for God's sake, give her.
This is what you should take. You know, it's not
But
like,
you know what, they're tough women, like Nana Rose, remember Nana Rose?
Hannah Rose had no rotators.
She had a torn rotator.
She had none, she didn't have any, according to me.
Okay? Never told anybody.
Damn.
You didn't know until she fell and hurt her rib, and
Mine went
Mike
over.
Getter is the one who told us, do you know she had a torn rotator cuff? And he's like, he said to Dennis, does it hurt when you move your arm up? Yeah, I just don't do it. I always wanted us to buy clothes that button, because she could
Yeah.
put her arm in one and then, you know?
but I think
Never
that maybe as you get older, everything hurts.
Mm.
It's not, you know, it's not
But
unusual.
Fred jumped on my couch, and they were sitting in Turkey Caicos over that. But my.
Thanks for the beer.
It's like 8 years.
It was wonderful.
Go chill in your room now, that's all the beer you're getting today.
Okay.
Heart
Alright, go
memories
chill.
that I prayed for to erase from my brain. I mean, that woman sat there and, and you can't, that's fine, I understand you're hurting, mother, I had a cracked rib, I understand you're hurt. But it was like, how many days was that? Weeks of that shit.
I was doing that when I had my eyes only in English.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still, it was, everything was,
She was not happy.
yeah, she was not a nice person either. I mean, I can understand her life or whatever, and my mama worked out the way she wanted it to, but she was a very, very mean-spirited individual. I mean, when you sit there, this is, I mean, Connie Rose was becoming amazing, she had to come. I said, no, we have people trying to avoid you. And then
She wasn't avoiding her, she had work.
and my father, and my father is telling me, Rosie hasn't done it, she has tested. I said, and did you know the guy with the dog, Fredo's son, had some kind of heart infection, they didn't have to drive a piece of his car. And, they had to return him several times. You know what that woman said? That's a person. Mine has nothing to do with any better either, because I had a doctor's appointment and I didn't go. That was her reaction, her compassion to her granddaughter, and to somebody who was 53 years old at the time.
She always wanna, if Joey was
And I would do that when people would complain about their, well, I would do that, and the dad would be like, I hate coming here because you can't see anything at night. I said, I don't drive here because I can't see anything during the day either.
All right, Joe, Mr. Comedian over there.
You tell me what you told me about the guy with the worried look on his face?
Oh, shit, that was hilarious. So there's this dude and his friend, and one of them had a worried look on his face, and the other one says, why do you look so worried? And he says, well, I loaned $5,000 to a blind man, and he said he'd pay me next time he saw me. And I was like, well, I guess he ain't never seeing that money.
Well, Joe, during dinner, you said, it's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah. You know what I told my buddies when they got off the bus? I'm like, all right, I'll hear you later.
What?
I said that, all right, I'll hear you later. Have a good one.
Well, who was the guy from High Point?
Oh.
The guy who told you you were blind in your ear?
Oh, Noah. Oh, Daddy, I got a story about that. So me and Bruce were talking yesterday. He was talking about something. I'm like, you don't remember I told you that last time I was here? He goes, no, I'm blind in the brain. And then I told him that story where with this blind girl got on the train, and it was me and Noah and we were coming back from Abel. And she said something to me, and I asked her to repeat it again, and Noah goes, hold on a second. You have to speak louder when you talk to him because he's blind in the ears.
All right, Joe. You gonna go chill?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, my Joe. Making cheesecloth, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, rolling cheesecloth. How many pallets you did yesterday?
2.5 boxes shy of 7, which would mean 810 rolls. Yep. Huh?
That's a lot of cheesecloth.
His favorite.
Yep.
Your favorite
Yeah,
part.
he had done so many nuts and bolts. How many? There were buggies piled up.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, me and John and Frank had done the first buggy, and that buggy was real full. They gave me, lead said, well, John's not here, so just, put these in the buggy. Don't, because she would have to take the boxes, which would have like 200 or 400 bags of screws and bolts in them. And it's like heavy bulletproof metal, so hundreds of those are heavy. So I put them in the buggy. 2 weeks later, that buggy was full, like real full. Like you know how when you feel the buggy, it was bulging out. Like if I were to have my belly out, that's how the buggy looked.
Well, paint a picture for us, Sarah. Just so we can understand.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, but it didn't help. We have an appointment Friday. I'm going with my sister to take my mother to the doctor.
Just say for a second, what do I tell you? What do I tell you?
Okay.
Do not unload the responsibility of your brother and your sister. I tell you that. Do your part all the time.
She's going to an orthopedic doctor to see if she can get a new hip.
Holmesley does hips. I would strongly recommend that you go see Holmesley.
Yeah. Well, she's 91 and they don't want to do a hip replacement on her.
Who they?
Doctors. Her doctors told her they won't do one on you. But she's in so much pain and she's convinced that she'll be better. Sister Maureen, because Sister Anne-Marie was telling her, Sister Maureen fell, she's 96, and they did surgery on her and repaired her hip and did a hip surgery. So, the they could do it on 96 minutes, so my mother can,
So who's she going to see?
I don't know, the doctor, my sister takes care of all the doctors.
Yeah.
And I don't really know, that's why I wanna go, so I know who and what to say.
Right.
She's gonna take
Didn't she
care.
get a new
Look
hip?
at this car, just look at this car, you can tell the man knows what he's doing.
How could you tell by a scar if someone knows what they're doing?
Because I remember the other scar, they had her and humbled in, and it was all full of staples and stuff, and they opened it up,
Oh. But it,
You know, she's like, there's nothing else wrong with me, I feel perfectly fine except for this pain. And if I had a new hip, I would be fine.
So Rudy, about we did our house in 2012. In 2014, they told us we probably would need to do this, so we had our pool redone. New plaster, new tile, new everything. And it was great, we loved it, but you know, about 2018 or 2019, I mean, relatively soon, we had some tiles popping off, which I thought was probably maybe not that abnormal. I don't know, I've never had a pool before. But then had a few more, and then a few more over the years, and finally realized that the coping itself, which is the stuff on the edge, on the top, you know, it was loose. And well, because it had been quite a while. And actually I did. I said, look, my musician is the people that did the pool,
Bring your stuff
the guy
around.
that did my pool maintenance,
And then bring your water, help you to.
kind of, you know, he oversaw it, if you will. But I think he just brought in contractors to do it. And so I asked him about it, and you know, this was 2020 by the time I was trying to deal with it.
I guess.
And he's like, you know, I can't even find those guys. They're long gone, you know. And so I had a guy from a pool company come out and quote, you know, and he was like, I don't replace the coping. I don't replace tiles. I build pools. And, you know, to do this is just to invite him to fall off the green, you know, you just need to do it. Quite frankly, this is pretty tough in 2020. I recommend you don't do it right now. Labor, materials, PPE. All right. So the pool continued to have issues to the point where I would take like tape and tape over areas to make sure that, you know, our friends, what their grandkids or older kids or whatever, you know, that somebody wasn't potentially going to
Oh, thank
step on
God.
an area that was loose.
Oh, it was in the vision of art?
No, it's an edge, you know, edge. So, you know, you have cement deck, right? And then you have a stone, and then you have inside the pool, the tiles, and then it's white plastic, you know, you have plastic, what they call plastic. So, I got two companies to come out a few months ago and give me a quote, and both, one was the guy that I talked to in 2020, and the other one was really highly, you know, recommended. Oh, everybody loves these people. And so one got back to me with a quote that was 50% higher than what I paid the first time around. But you know, I knew it was coming. And then the other guy ended up saying, I didn't get a quote, I didn't get a quote, and finally it was like, hey, I heard from you guys, you said, I'm sorry, but it's not gonna be able to help me. They got this, you know, the good ones are. So, this guy said, you really ought to redo the plaster. Because if you do the one without the other, you know, so, long story short, we hired the guy, and they come out, and they take the coping off and the tile off, and they said, look, and they showed me, said, whoever did this, it looks like the pool was originally built to have 2-inch thick coping, and you picked 1-inch coping, so they built up the base with a ton of coping. Yeah, and they said, look at this stuff, and it just crumbled. They said, it's full of sand. They used, you know, the wrong material. It should have been thin set. And that's why it was all falling apart. And that, you know, that's what, it fell apart, it knocked the tile off. And And I was like, oh my God, so we're gonna need another 10% because the materials will be more, you know, and then they talked us into changing the material we're using in part of the pool. So that was extra material later. And then he starts demolishing the whirlpool, you know, the raised tub. And it's like, this thing crumbles. We're gonna have to totally rebuild it. And that'll be another 10%.
Oh my God.
And then they get in and they start doing the bottom of the pool, the bottom. And he's like, there's hollow spots. And if I go in there and I find these hollow spots, I've got to chop them out. Because if you don't, you know, blah, blah, blah. And if I do that,
Stop. 1 hour. 15 minutes. Speech off.
Taking everything off.
You know, things are expensive when you don't maintain them.
Swimming pools
Yeah.
are very nature qualified.
Yeah.
They're full of water, and during the winter, water freezes and cracks things, and chlorine destroys things, and they're just expensive. But it's anytime you do any kind of construction, it's the contractors always pull that on you, don't they?
No,
They're always like, look at this, they didn't do it right the first time around. This is gonna cost you.
Yeah,
But this guy,
that's why I did some things with my cousin when I was 17. I can't wait to get this meat going so I can start working on my yard and my dad.
but I basically told him,
And he moved, and then by like that, he moved 6 hours away, huh?
working this summer, because, you know, if I take July off and August, half of August off, because I'm gonna teach, I'll come up to the day. I've got all the right tools and.
Problem is, I don't have a pickup truck. I need a pickup truck to get the wood in.
I kept telling you to get a pickup truck so we could do a muffler job on it like a redneck and make noise.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah?
I told you that I love you today.
Yes?
I did?
Yes?
When?
I don't know, but you did.
Okay.
Hey, Dad.
What?
You know, abortion already happened. I didn't expect to see Little Miss.
Oh, yeah, she laid down beside you.
Yeah, and I pet her and gave her kisses, and she gave me kisses, and sometime I fell back asleep, and she fell asleep. How long did she stay in my bed?
Well, I'm sure this weekend. Joey's on a very, very strong dosage of Concerta. I mean, 72 in the morning and then boosters go along.
30 milligrams of boosters, like 102 milligrams of freaking...
So, Joey can't really function if he goes to bed early. He goes to bed around 11:30, and then he's ready up at 5:30 in the morning. And he goes the whole week. Then he'll come in, and if it's not ready, he'll go to the then, so when the weekend comes, unless there's something to do, he says, I am exhausted. And he will sleep. He got up at 5 o'clock today.
And I went to bed at 11:15.
And he does that. And I'm trying to figure out why Gus Dane doesn't do this. It's just like, it's like he's working on a battery all week long, and the battery drains, and then when the weekend gets, he recharges his battery.
Unless there's nothing to do, or something to do.
That's what Dad used to do, is he was working and under all that work stress.
'Cause you had kids and a husband. I don't have kids or a husband. Or a wife.
All day Saturday, and just totally recharge.
Yep. I mean, why wouldn't? But see, why wouldn't I if there's nothing to do?
I hear you. You know, I've gotten where I can't sleep very long in the morning. It's nothing very about sleeping.
Like, you know, if there's nothing to do, it's better to dream. It's better to sleep so you can dream about going to the places you want to go. Isn't that right? I said, when there's nothing to do, it's just better to sleep so you can dream about the places you really want to go.
I thought you dreamed
wanna get them up at 5:15 and get them on the bus, I'll
Have you ever
exactly
had
what he's getting
or
ready.
seen
And then I'm gonna go walk.
cow
And
stomach
Kathy was
cooked?
telling me that our neighbor Sandy was saying,
Yeah, all I heard was something cow stomach cooked.
Yeah. Have you ever seen it?
Seen cow stomach cooked.
Yeah. I mean, not cooked, but I mean, have you ever seen the product?
What's it called?
I said, I do.
Right.
I said,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
She loves to
People
walk.
die and cow stomach on her.
It's like, maybe
So
we
the
can
only
walk
time
and
that you try it was in Washington, which I did. Yeah, well, my motion is great, but see, you're talking about pain, it's right here, right around here, and the worst is right on top of it.
Is it dull pain or sharp pain?
Big sharp pain, right here.
It looks
2 days ago, it went from pain to soreness.
But he's a nutcase.
What are you talking about?
Olsen. Olsen is the four-legged version of my best friend at work. Wait till you meet Bruce. You'll see what I'm saying next week.
But anyway, he took me to the Ethiopian food in Washington, which I did.
It was so good.
Did you see that? And
Hated it. Hated it. They don't give you any silverware. And they give you this bread that looks like this cow stomach. And you're supposed to dip that stuff and pick it up with that sponge-looking stuff and eat it. It was the most disgusting thing I ever ate in my life. Damn it, they didn't go to Optimus Home and found an Ethiopian restaurant. And I said, oh, disgusting. And some lady took offense to my comments. With a nasty line. Do you know me? I said, hell no, I'm his father. He made me in this garbage.
Who took offense to you?
Some lady,
Where?
in mommy's post.
Oh. I wish I saw that because I'd be like, that's what he says. And he's seen it.
Replaced like in '86, and waited way too long. And he stayed in rehab, in a rehab place for like 2 months. I mean, he was in there forever. And because my mom's like, I'm old, I can't lift his ass up.
Face 1 hour, 57 minutes. Speech off.
He came home, and what made me think of it, he and I were waiting for him. We were in the lobby of this rehab place. And that's it. And we've been there before, long story short, but it was a awful place. And you know what Atlanta is. Majority. Yeah. This was my God, did you see that ass on that woman? Just a little down, and it was like, no, please, Mr. My dad's like, I don't give a shit.
You get to the point where you don't care.
And I was like, that's a great big old ass, that's what it is.
His godfather, when he was arrested in New Jersey somewhere, he was working at D. And there was this huge black one that they had on anyway, I saw a gurney on that table, whatever it was, and he had to go in there and examine her. And the guy says to Wayne, he goes, if I don't come back in half an hour, you're sending somebody to get me to that road up.
I'm gonna put a rope around my waist.
Yeah, if I don't come back in half an hour, you come and say, yeah, we got in trouble with that.
Joe,
Yeah?
we have to pick Aunt Lori up at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, just come get me.
What
Can I
time?
wake you up?
What time you want me to get you?
About 11:30. I don't have to take a shower or anything. Hey, Daddy.
Yeah.
There's some STS drivers that, like, you pray you don't get them when you go to the farmer's market and you didn't double bag your stuff because they're so big and it takes, like, it's very hard to do sighted guide.
Farmer's market, Joey's work, right, Joe?
Yeah.
And he goes shopping.
And he brings us goodies. Proudly. $7 for a dozen eggs. We're paying our lady.
They were the best.
They make the best omelets, right, Joe?
Yeah. And the strawberries, oh.
Chickens in
I
backyard.
like to buy their the breakfast sausage.
Hey, and they come to your work. There's a convenience factor too.
I got strawberries, I got tomatoes.
You got some strawberries too.
Oh, and some
Best tomato sauce. Remember when
They got tomatoes right now. They got tomatoes right now. It's tomato season.
But you know what, Joe? They're hothouse tomatoes. Nobody gets tomatoes until July.
Hey, Daddy. I think I heard somewhere that the farmer's market might have tomatillos, but you can't make me green sauce right now.
No, I'm trying to get, I think he wants to,
I grew seeds last year, grew all my pleasure seeds. So I tried it this year, but I forgot and didn't get the seeds going until after we got back from Paris. So it's been so cool that none of them are growing. I mean, the biggest ones like that high, they just slow grow.
We've had like some crazy, we had some days in May where it was like 60 degrees.
I would be willing to bet that was the coolest day in my life.
Yep.
The average temperature in May was I bet lower than any other May in my life.
Yep. But the earth is getting hotter, huh?
Well, overall it is, but June has also been something relatively.
Yeah. Don't say that. Don't say that. You just said that. Now the end of June's going to be 150 degrees.
Well, you know how it is. Come July and August, we get cold.
Yep. You know what, Daddy? When we had to go from the Arboretum to Fairview, I was telling Miss Shirley, I was like, well, dang, you might make your nail appointment on time. Nope. You're sitting there like, oh.
Can you do that? This? Can you do this? So you go out like it.
oh, talking not yet, they got me painted on hard surface, but the paint is really intense and I can't hold it in a minute. But yeah, I know a lot of this and they mend it down and what have you.
He's so financially, you know.
Is 2 hours, 3 minutes, 3 speech off.
With prices and everything, they weren't issuing new treasury bills. And now that everything's, enough, and now that everything's been signed, the next auction, they suspect that they'll be pushed trying to get enough out there to pay for all the new stuff, that they might overwhelm the demand for treasuries. And if that's the case, they got other opportunities. And I mean, think about that. If, the old adage is that you can take out anywhere from 3.5% to 4.5% a year of your savings. And they say if you can live off of that, you're good to go. As the markets go up and the markets go down, you should be okay. You won't get it so far into principle that, So if you're able to lock in like a 10-year treasury for 4.5% or 5%, I mean, that's like saying, I've got a pension, I've got guaranteed income.
She's gonna be smart.
So you think there's gonna be like a,
Well, that's what they said, and so we'll see.
I heard Saturday morning in the 30s, 2030s, that you just won't be able to stand it. Last time I heard that and they keep raising money because it makes sense.
Well, really, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security are like 70% or 60%.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna have to, whatever they say, they're gonna have to cut that.
Nobody can touch it. Because if you even talk about it,
Oh, you're a bad guy.
you're trying to kill little wages and prescriptions.
I mean, we're on it. If they took 5% of our social security for the better of the nation, you know.
You know what Daddy said? He said the Department of Defense should slash like most of their budget and like quit doing all the stuff they do. And I'm like, well, wouldn't that hurt blind people? Because literally we can't depend on like most of society because we have a 70% unemployment rate. Our only hope is the Ability One program, which is almost all dependent on the Department of Defense. So I'm like, hell no.
They want to find some other business that will subsidize this not defense oriented.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. But like, you know, we can't do that right now because it's not like the people that would benefit from it would even, you know.
Yeah, they don't touch benefits.
You know what I mean?
Starting with mine. But anyway,
It's interesting times. It looks like hopefully the Republican Party won't be people that did last time around, which is so many people that too many people voting. And what's this guy's Republican Party line? Another thing we see, and I would you for a moment think that if you're from North Dakota,
it's good to be over.
I think I'm gonna go in my room now.
And she's talking like a math problem.
and Tim Cook,
But he'd make a good president. I think Nikki, Tim, make a good president.
what's like his background? Now, Nikki's been in very successful change of that whole state.
And then we're,
I mean, he would be a great, I don't know who else Tim Cook is. Tim Scott, I don't know, except for a black Republican from South Carolina, which makes me suspicious.
it makes a lot of people suspicious.
Kids still in high school, but it's a.
And Pence, he didn't have a prayer.
No, Pence doesn't have a chance.
Democrats don't like him. Trump people don't like him, and people who don't like Trump don't like him. He doesn't have a prayer.
I still remember.
And Christie, for God's sakes, Christie, you lost New Jersey.
Christie was the one that had the George Washington Bridge scandal.
Yeah. Come here and give me a kiss, Mr. George Washington. Can I wiggle that belly?
I don't think George Washington had a big belly. I mean, I've never seen pictures of him, but.
Alright, I want to borrow your forehead. I love you, son.
I'm going to my room.
Okay. Thank you for giving us some old people time. Notice that I didn't say adult time. I said old
Yes,
people.
I know.
Okay.
That's what I told my friend. That's what I told Teresa when she said, why you didn't go to the mountains? Don't you like that town? I said, yeah, but they wanted an old people time. And she said, you're wrong for that. And I said, well, they always tell me they want adult time, but I'm 3. She goes, yeah, you're right.
You know what he said to me the other day? I was telling Susan, I made the
We were speaking of a belly time.
mine is, it came down.
Wait, I can't see it from here.
No.
Because it's in the way.
But I did that meat and then the juice of the meat mixed with the chimichurri, so I wanted to taste it.
You wanted to drink the juice.
Yeah, Susan objected to that. So,
It's gross.
yeah, so I liked it. I said, Sue, when I was a little boy, I didn't eat, and they would take a steak and squeeze it and give me that as a soup. And my buddy over here, the man that's always got my back, he says in English and Spanish, he goes, Daddy, you're not a little boy anymore. And then the Spanish part, tú eres un viejo cagalitroso. I say, you're an old man that shits himself.
You know why? You know why I got him? Because he said, coming from a guy who drinks ketchup and sriracha, when you have, like, when I have extra of it, I do when I'm at home. I don't do that in public. So he said, okay. I was like, okay. And then he said that, and he said, okay. I was like, okay, I got him now. And then that's when I said that.
Yeah, Joe, that was not a...
Spanish, Joe?
I said, Dad, you're not a little boy anymore. You're un viejo cagalitroso.
Old man sitting. Oh, my Joe.
Yeah, it's funny. I remembered a lot of French during that trip.
You did?
I did not, I could not, that many times down, like less than 20, but.
Yeah.
Man,
I did
I
not
sat
get-
down and looked at the song because the best evening was that night we danced in that little entertainers from Scotland was around.
I
The
can't.
big
All right, Mr. Bill.
And everybody.
You have a good one.
No, you're going hang it right.
Thank you for the beer.
You're welcome, Dad. It's good to see you.
Yes, it's good to hear you. Bye, Miss Beth.
To the right, Joe. To the right. And a hard left.
Hard left.
Hard left.
Where are you going, Joe? To Shakeville Fair?
Yeah.
Well, I will come to you. Follow the sounds of my sultry voice.
It's so good to see you.
And to feel you.
Yes, thank you for my beer.
You're welcome.
You sure you don't want one?
Thank you.
Bye, Miss Beth. Thanks for coming.
Just throw her a kiss.
Bye. I love you. Thank you for keeping my mommy straight.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. Joe, I love that Scottish slipper. That cracks me up. You never wear your slipper.
Yeah, some very rarely.
There's the best fish.
There's what? I don't know.
You think it's best?
No, I haven't fished his best.
Wait a minute, Joe.
He just got out of it.
You know, I think my sheets might need to be washed.
Oh, wow. You have.
Let you dad get the light for you.
Okay, Sue.
And I'm trying. He's holding on to me, though.
Oh, the radio's still on.
Yep. Wow. You know who says that?
What, Joe?
You know who says wow?
You?
Hey, Daddy, you on a presidente?
No, Joe, I can't drink.
Oh, shit.
Until I see the doctor.
Well, that
Well,
sucks.
you know what I want?
hope I don't need a new knee anytime soon.
I pray you don't.
You know why? Because I like to walk and drink.
Hold on. Stand right there.
Sometimes at the same time. Right, Daddy? Like in Gastonia.
So what? It's a sheet got put up on the ocean.
Yeah, I think so. And it's been a long time since we did that.
Yeah, I think we got another set of sheets.
Hey, Dad.